have doled out up to $4 million to cross ships through the Panama Canal. The average price to cross through the canal ranges anywhere from $300,000 to $400,000, depending on the ship.
All right, we're live.
Townhall.com. Plans for a heinous crime are thwarted.
A former law enforcement officer is charged with planning a mass shooting in New Orleans. Christopher Gillum was arrested in Florida and was found with a handgun and hundreds of rounds of ammunition. Gillum is white, and investigators say he was planning to kill black people at a music festival in New Orleans. The festival wasn't named, but the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival, commonly known as Jazz Fest, is underway. Police in North Carolina say Gillum's family there reported him missing, and he has a history of self-harm. Paperwork was being prepared to voluntarily commit Gillum for psychiatric treatment. I'm Ed Donahue.
Federal investigators say a firefighter whose truck collided with an Air Canada jet last month on a New York runway heard an air traffic controller repeatedly shouting "stop" over the radio, but did not know who the warning was for. Both pilots were killed in the collision. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Good morning. It's time for the latest news in the 9 o'clock hour. Headlines, presented by Morton Hospital in Taunton. They're now part of Brown University Health. I'm Chris Keach reporting for WVBF News. A Taunton man appeared in court this week after admitting to police that he set fire to his home on Grand Street on Tuesday morning. News station WHDH Channel 7 reports that while 47-year-old Jeffrey Powers was initially charged with attempted murder, the DA's office has dropped that. He now faces an arson charge. He confessed to igniting the fire by lighting a mattress in his bedroom, and then his daughter's mattress, though she was not at home at the time. She was staying with his ex-wife. Powers explained that he wanted to start the fire to avoid being tortured by a family member, and he wanted the police to help him. A forensic psychologist indicated that Powers may have mental health issues. He was set to be evaluated at Bridgewater State Hospital, and Powers is expected to be back in court in May. In sports, in the NHL, let's see, the Buffalo Sabres, they came back from behind to beat the Boston Bruins 3-1 at TD Garden. They have a 2-1 lead in their first round NHL playoff series. Game 4, Sunday afternoon, 2 p.m. at TD Garden. The Boston Celtics first round Eastern Conference playoff series with the Philadelphia 76ers continues tonight. Game 3 at the Xfinity Mobile Arena, 7 p.m. on Prime Video. In Major League Baseball, the New York Yankees rallied back twice last night at Fenway Park. They beat the Boston Red Sox 4-2 to sweep their series. The Red Sox begin a weekend set with the Baltimore Orioles at Camden Yards tonight, 7:05 p.m. And in minor league baseball, the Worcester Red Sox routed the Syracuse Mets 10-4 in a matinee game played yesterday afternoon at Polar Park. The series continues tonight at Polar, 6:05 p.m. Now the forecast from the National Weather Service, and the mini ice age continues here in southern New England. Overnight temps staying right in the 30s as we head towards May. Partly sunny today with a high near 56 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy, you guessed it, a low around 35 degrees. Saturday, partly sunny, a high near 52. Saturday night, a slight chance of showers, mostly cloudy. Again, a low around 37 degrees. Sunday, a slight chance of showers, mostly cloudy, and a high near 55. Headlines, presented by Morton Hospital in Taunton. They're now part of Brown University Health.
The future is bright at Morton Hospital, now proudly part of Brown University Health. This change welcomes a new chapter for our community, one where Morton is empowered to truly shine. As a part of Brown University Health, Morton can continue to provide the trusted care you depend on, supported by leading science that lights the way. Still local, now limitless. Morton Hospital is now part of Brown University Health. WVBF is your hometown radio station.
And one of the things we like to do to support people in your hometown is to run community announcements. If you do belong to a nonprofit group or organization, or if you're an official in the city or town government, send your community announcements along to our email address. It's safe, it's fast, and it allows us to get right back to you if we have a question. Send your community announcements to WVBF1530@hotmail.com. That's WVBF1530@hotmail.com. Thank you for listening. Your hometown radio station is AM 1530, WVBF, and 99.7 FM.
Coming to WVBF beginning Friday, May 1st, it's Voices of Our Region, Our Roots, Our Stories, Our Impact with host Louis Laura. It's a live, community-centered radio program that will explore the rich cultural histories and contributions of the diverse populations that have shaped southeastern Massachusetts. Through engaging conversations, storytelling, and guest interviews, the program will highlight the people, traditions, and experiences which continue to define our area. As we celebrate our nation's 250th anniversary, this program offers a timely opportunity to reflect on who we are as a community, honor our shared history, and amplify the voices that continue to shape the region's future. Don't miss the premiere of Voices of Our Region, Our Roots, Our Stories, Our Impact with host Louis Rupp, Friday, May 1st from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on your hometown radio station, WVBF.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and do not express the views of WVBF ownership or Hometown Talk Radio. Content aired on all programs are those of the host and their guests.
It's time for Hometown Talk on AM 1530 and 99.7 FM, your hometown radio station. Our phone lines are now open at 508-822-1106.
And good morning, everybody. My name is Joey Driscoll, and welcome in to Hometown Talk, the Friday edition of Hometown Talk. Today is Friday, April 24th, 2026, the final Friday in the month of April. Next week is May 1st. Next Friday is May 1st. And May 1st is a big day here on WVBF. We'll discuss that in a second. But what is on tap for today's show? Well, open phone lines for the majority of the program today. At 10:35 a.m. this morning, we will have Chachi LaPrette calling in from Breakfast with the Beatles, talking about some of the events that he has had since we last talked to him, and then also the events coming up here for the springtime. And we'll probably talk for a couple minutes at the end about the Lorenzo's events as well, which are going to be starting up late spring into summer. So stay tuned for that as well. Again, 10:35 a.m. this morning. We'll probably talk about some other things with him as well. So stay tuned for that. 10:35 a.m. this morning. That's coming up. But open phone lines for the majority of the program today. We're going to talk about, of course, the NFL Draft Day 1, what my thoughts were of some of the picks as well. My thoughts on the Patriots pick, which is an interesting pick to have in the first round, an offensive tackle, which again something we probably need because Will Campbell definitely needs some help. And the offensive line definitely needs some help as well going into next season if we want to retain that 14-3 kind of record that we had last season and that good vibe around the team there that we had last year, which culminated in a Super Bowl appearance. Not a win, but a Super Bowl appearance as well. And also we wait on that post-June 1st date as well Patriots fans, because after June 1st, there is potential that A.J. Brown could become a Patriot. There is a lot of things being talked about with that. So we'll mention that. We'll mention the Celtics, the Bruins. We'll mention the Providence Bruins as well. They await their next opponent still. So they're on a little bit of a break right now. First round bye for them. We'll talk about some baseball as well, the sports segment. We'll have a transportation segment. We'll talk about the MBTA. I think we'll also talk about the boats as well. I think a little bit too. As we get into the month of May, a lot of those will be reopening as well. A lot of them are open. A lot of them will be reopening for full time as well. We'll talk a little bit about that coming up in the transportation segment as well. But we have all of that going on. Let's start off with our weather for today. Right now it is 47 degrees, so it's warming up very nicely here in Taunton, outside of our Hong Kong City studios on Broadway in Taunton. Warming up pretty nicely. It'll be 55 degrees today, so not bad at all. Wind, however, continues to be a little bit of a problem as we go along here. Wind gusts up to 14 miles per hour. It's been windy for a lot of the past couple of weeks. Really since like March, it's been windy a lot. A lot this month as well. And the cold temperatures at night at least stick around. And that's just not fun. You heard Chris Keach earlier in the last hour talk about this too. When is this going to end? The cold temperatures at night as well. When is that going to end? I really have no answer. I don't think anyone has an answer really for it. Cold temperatures are going to definitely go probably into May, at least for the nighttime. At least it's not snowing. So that's a good thing. It's not snowing, but it's definitely cold enough to snow. So, which is very weird for the time that it is now. It's late April, and also another thing that I want to point out as well. There are ski areas open still. Some ski areas will be open definitely into May. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. We'll have a little bit of a segment talking about the ski areas and which ones are open. There are 6 open in New England as of right now. So one will be closing this weekend. We'll talk a little bit about that. But there are several that will be open into May. So we'll talk about that. We'll have a segment on that too. But again, 47 degrees right now, 55 for the high, 31 for the low. Sunny, clear skies in Taunton. It'll be clear all day today. Cloudy tomorrow with a high of 52 and a low of 36. And then Sunday, a high of 55 with a low of 39 and cloudy once again. As an example, as a comparison here, Middleborough is 46 degrees, 53 for the high, 32 for the low from today. As an example, kind of like a comparison as to what's happening for a lot of the areas here. If you listen to my Sunday show, I talk about 3 additional areas in the country. 2 of them happen to have my last name, Driscoll, Texas, and Driscoll, North Dakota. And then I also talk about Holiday, Florida. So for example here, for a comparison, Holiday, Florida is currently 72 degrees right now, a high of 81 and a low of 64 this evening. Clear skies, a little windy there too, but clear skies throughout the day today into the 80s. This is the weather that we were having not too long ago, like a week or so ago, a week or two ago now. I'd love to have that weather back, that's for sure. Anyway, that's your weather. It's 9:19. Let's take our first commercial break right now. When we come back, we'll talk about our blood drives, and then also talk about the ski areas that are open as well. There are, again, like I mentioned, 6 still open in New England. Some will be open probably well into May. So we'll talk a little bit about that coming up here on Hometown Talk, the Friday edition of Hometown Talk. Again, 508-822-1106 is the number to call in. I am Joey Driscoll. This is WVBF. We'll be right back. 61.
One in 10 people age 50 and older in the U.S. have age-related macular degeneration.
Because macular degeneration often has no early symptoms, many don't know they have it until irreversible vision loss has already occurred. Well, when I first found out that I had macular degeneration, it was really scary. I mean, my eyes are my living.
What's most important for me to see? My family, my loved ones, my pickleball game, everything I do is dependent upon my vision.
Being able to see, be able to spend time with my children, be able to travel is extremely important. And I wouldn't be able to do that if I didn't have my vision. Don't miss life's most beautiful moments.
Schedule a comprehensive eye exam to protect your sight.
Macular Degeneration Research, a Bright Focus Foundation program, offers free resources and tips for healthy vision.
Go to stopamd.org to learn more.
All right, 9:21. Look at this. Take that. There we go. 3, 2, 1, 0. And welcome back. So I turned down the bumper music. There we go. 9:21 a.m. here. 9:21 a.m. Open phone lines for the majority of the program today. 508-822-1106. Switching over to our blood drives, I like to mention these as much as I can here when I'm on here. Either again on a Friday or a Monday or a Sunday. Sunday for Middleborough Review, Monday for Middleborough Matters, and for Friday's program, of course, Hometown Talk. Blood drives, very important to mention as well. So we have a couple of new blood drives to talk about. Again, we are going to mention them right now. In April, there's still the blood drive coming up tomorrow with BTV Access Corporation, 80 Spring Street, Bridgewater, Massachusetts, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. for that blood drive tomorrow. That's part of First Responder Day. Coming up in May 2nd, Saturday, May 2nd, the following Saturday, at Middleborough High School, 71 East Grove Street, Middleborough. There'll be a blood drive from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Again, that's at the Middleborough High School. Tuesday, the 26th of May, there'll be two blood drives. First at Morton Hospital, main building, 88 Washington Street, Taunton, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. for that blood drive. And then at the Norton Public Library, 68 East Main Street, Norton, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. for that blood drive. Wednesday, May 27th, at the Holy Cross Church at 225 Purchase Street, Southeastern, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. for that blood drive. And then finally, Saturday, May 30th, the Tri-Town Masonic Lodge, 38 Franklin Street, East Bridgewater, 7 a.m. to noon for that blood drive. You can find all those blood drives and sign up for all those blood drives by visiting redcross.org. And also, if you're unable to make any of those blood drives, but still want to give blood and want to give blood at any time, they have blood donation centers, the Red Cross, the American Red Cross does, at Raynham and also in Kingston. So plenty of spots there to go and give blood if you are able to do so. As I mentioned, I like to mention these because I think it's very, very important to get the word out on blood drives. So there you go. Those are the blood drives coming up for the remainder of April and the entire month of May. A lot going on in the month of May there. So, all right. Moving on now to that. Moving on from that now, going over to the ski areas. As I mentioned, in New England, there are 6 open ski areas as of today. There is one that will be closing this weekend, but here are the ones that are still open. In Vermont, Jay Peak is still open. Skiing and riding is anticipated into the weekend of May the 9th. Could be potentially later. Killington is still open. Superstar 6 laps. That'll be ran as long as it possibly can be. So that could maybe even go into June. We'll see. Stowe, Vermont. Their closing date is to be determined. Lift tickets currently are available through this weekend. And Sugarbush is open. Closing date will be next weekend, May 3rd. Limited to weekends after the 26th. And again, the closing date is going to be May 3rd, it looks like, for that. Black Mountain in New Hampshire. Black Mountain in New Hampshire, open Friday to Sunday, potentially until Memorial Day weekend, which is in late May. I believe May 25th, if I'm not mistaken. So quite a way to go there for Black Mountain, New Hampshire. That ski area. Sugarloaf will be closing this weekend. It's open daily until Sunday. It'll be open until Sunday, April the 26th. Sugarloaf in Maine. So after this weekend, you'll be down to 5 ski areas in New England. So if you're a skier and want to go skiing here the last couple of weekends, do so in the New England area. I want to mention that and talk a little bit about that. All right, now 9:27 a.m. We are going to pause. We're going to go here and do a America Past and Present here, plus also a commercial break and a news break as well. When we come back, we'll switch over to our sports. We'll break down some sports here for you. Break down some local things going on, local events as well. There is a free spring yard waste collection in Taunton coming up for this upcoming week. We'll talk a little bit about that. And we'll take your phone calls, 508-822-1106, 508-822-1106. We'll be right back. We're not gonna do American Past Present. We're gonna do Tech Mobility. We're gonna do Tech Mobility. Quick correction, we're going to do a Tech Mobility Minute right now.
Welcome to the Tech Mobility Minute, brought to you by Playbook Investors Network, your strategic partner for unstoppable growth. Visit pincommunity.org to get started.
A proposed regulatory shift by the administration could quietly reshape how lenders assess credit risk, and not in a neutral way. According to MarketWatch, the plan would weaken fair lending oversight, making it easier for banks and lenders to deny loans or mortgages while reducing accountability for discriminatory outcomes. Supporters argue that it cuts red tape. Critics warn that it could disproportionately impact women and minority borrowers. In a data-driven economy, it matters who sets the rules for algorithms and underwriting. Financial access shapes housing, mobility, and opportunity. Policy choices today ripple across generations. This isn't abstract regulation. It's everyday economics. I'm Ken Chester.
In business, opportunity doesn't wait, and neither should you. At Playbook Investors Network, we connect visionary entrepreneurs with the strategies, resources, and capital they need to win. Whether you're launching, scaling, or reimagining your business, our network turns ambition into measurable success. Your vision deserves more than a plan. It deserves a playbook that works. Playbook Investors Network, where bold ideas meet bold results. Visit pincommunity.org today. Every great business starts with a spark, but taking it to the next level takes strategy, connections, and capital. That's where Playbook Investors Network comes in. We're your strategic partner for accelerating growth, navigating challenges, and capturing market opportunities before your competition does. Your business is more than an idea. Let's make it an impact. Playbook Investors Network. Your future starts here. Learn more at pincommunity.org.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. Ferocious storms batter the plains, and Oklahoma is ground zero for the wicked weather.
A powerful tornado in Oklahoma ripped roofs off buildings, knocked down power poles, and sent emergency crews rushing into a rural community near Vance Air Force Base.
Ew, look at that! It's a satellite tornado! Good night!
Video provided by KWTV. KOTV shows multiple occurrences across the field.
On the ground going through the wind farm out here.
Destroying buildings in its path.
East of the trees.
As debris flew through the air, the confirmed tornado moved across parts of Enid, a city of about 50,000 people. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
In South Georgia, around 90 homes burned by wildfires fed by gusty winds and tinder-dry conditions. Tens of thousands of acres have been charred with only minimal containment of those fires so far. President Trump takes the wraps off a deal with another drug maker to lower its pharmaceutical prices.
The president is touting Regeneron's decision to make its products more affordable to American patients.
It's agreed to offer their prescription medications at heavily discounted, most favored nation prices.
The deal involves Regeneron lowering the prices of current and all future drugs on Medicaid. It also involves selling a cholesterol drug on the White House's discounted drug website. Ray Clugston, Washington.
The president has extended a waiver that makes it easier for foreign vessels to transport oil and natural gas to the U.S. It's a 90-day waiver of the Jones Act, and it has sent crude prices modestly lower this morning. And ahead of the opening bell on Wall Street, stock futures are mixed. The Dow futures are down 131 points. On the NASDAQ, futures are up almost 300 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
Spring cleaning isn't just for your house, it's for your life. If your job is getting old, it's time to clear the clutter and spring into IT. Go to My Computer Career.
My Computer Career helped me get the skills and certifications I needed to start a new life as an IT professional in months, not years.
Earn the certifications that top employers are looking for right now. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation to see if it's time to spring into IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
The U.S., China, and India are taking a pass on a big alternative energy summit in South America.
Against a backdrop of rising global tensions and energy market instability, governments from around 50 countries are gathering on Friday in Colombia's Caribbean city of Santa Marta for a summit aimed at accelerating the shift away from fossil fuels. The April 24 to 29 conference will bring together ministers, academics, and civil society groups to discuss how to move beyond oil, gas, and coal. The meeting reflects growing frustration among some governments and advocates that decades of UN climate negotiations have failed to directly address fossil fuel production, the main driver of global warming, prompting the Santa Marta summit to push the issue outside formal talks. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
The EU has approved a $106 billion loan package for Ukraine. Decision comes after Russian oil began flowing again to Hungary and Slovakia through a key pipeline. Townhall.com. A major media shift is moving closer to fruition.
HBO Max, Top Gun, CBS, and CNN may all be placed under the control of the upstart Paramount Skydance soon. That's because shareholders of Warner Brothers Discovery approved an $81 billion sale of the company on Thursday. The deal, including debt, valued at nearly $111 billion. If approved, the mega merger would vastly reshape Hollywood and the wider media landscape. It would further consolidate power in an industry already run by just a handful of major players. Bob Agnew reporting.
In the latest round of tech industry job cuts, Meta laying off about 8,000 workers. Microsoft is offering buyouts to a similar number. Meta confirms it plans to cut about 10% of its workforce in an effort to invest in other parts of its business and for greater efficiency, as first reported by Bloomberg. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey, restaurants, when it comes to great food and in-house operations, you got it down to a science. But when it comes to online marketing, ordering, and delivery, Devour Now has got you covered. Devour Now has 0% commission, no setup costs, and the delivery solution you've been hoping for. Go to getdevournow.com to request a demo and to get started today. That's getdevournow.com. Commission-free online marketing, ordering, and delivery.
Okay. Very good. Yeah. Oh, very good. There we go. I will do 268 the next commercial break. Okay. I'm going to do this segment. Good. That's good. Perfect. All right. Birthday. Things here. That. Good. And good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Hometown Talk. I am Joey Driscoll. Today is April 24th, 2025. And 2025, that's 2026. There we go. April 24th, 2026. This is Friday. And we got a lot to talk about here. A couple of things going on here in Taunton. There will be a free spring yard waste collection in Taunton. That is going to be coming up. That is scheduled for this upcoming week, the week of April the 27th, for residents serviced by the city's curbside program. Yard waste collection will coincide with residents' regular trash pickup day. Please remember that yard waste should be placed at the curb in paper bags or in open barrels. Sticks no thicker than 3 inches in diameter and no longer than 4 feet high and long. Small branches should be bundled and tied. Yard waste that is placed in a plastic bag or cardboard boxes, that will not be taken. Please refer to the city's city's solid waste and recycling website for any additional information, taunton-ma.gov. Also, they have a series of 2026 free waste events happening in the springtime for Taunton. Earth Day, the yard waste bag giveaway. That's going to be happening tomorrow, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Convenience Center, 330 East Britannia Street. Pick up 2 free yard waste bags. In May, a free yard waste drop-off will happen all month, every Saturday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Convenience Center, 330 East Britannia Street. Drop off your leaves, grass clippings, and branches for free. And in June, a free household hazardous waste drop-off will be happening on Saturday, June the 13th, 9 a.m. to noon. Wind Waste Innovations, 110 Prince Henry Drive. Drop off household hazardous waste for free. Proof of residency is required for this. No commercial waste, no box trucks. Questions, you can call the Department of Public Works at 508-821-1431. Also coming up this weekend is 2 other events. One other event in Taunton here that I want to mention too. The 35th annual Earth Day citywide cleanup will be happening tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. to noon. Check-in will be 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Parking lot behind the police station on Summer Street. Bags and gloves can be delivered to volunteers prior to the cleanup. Help clean up target areas throughout the city. Organize some of your friends to help. For more information and to sign up, please call or text 508-272-2222. Again, it's 508-272-2222. And ask for Karen. Pre-register at Taunton Ecoware at gmail.com. That's Taunton Ecoware at gmail.com. This is presented by the Taunton Ecology Awareness Team. That is awareness movement. That is team is the acronym there. Team. Alternate dates to clean are available as well. Call or email, rain or shine, for this event. And then for this week, finally for this week's events, and then we'll go on to talk about real quickly next week's events. For this week's events, volunteers are needed to help honor veterans at 2 upcoming events. That's going to be, we'll talk about the second one last here. Veterans and non-veterans are invited. Oh, we got a phone call. Let's take that phone call and say good morning, caller.
Good morning, Joe. How are you? It's your old buddy Jimmy DuPont. How's things in the big city these days?
Good morning, Jim. How are you?
Well, that's a complicated question, and I say, do you want the truth, or do you want the radio answer? I don't think you got time for the truth, but I had a couple of things on my mind, and one of which is tomorrow is the Rainham town election.
Yep.
Of course, I am a candidate in that election, but I didn't call up to talk about my candidacy. I think I've tried to make that case to the voters, and I'll take my chances with what they say tomorrow, but I just wanted to make sure everybody knows the election is tomorrow in Rainham and in Bridgewater for the Bridgewater Rainham School Committee. The polls are open from 10 o'clock to 8. They usually open at 7, I know, for state and national elections, but for town elections, they cut them back a little bit because basically Rainham and Bridgewater were cheapskates. We don't want to pay the extra 2 hours for the details on the poll workers. But I hope everyone takes the time to vote. And I'll just say one last thing on that subject. Unlike a lot of politicians, Joe, I don't lecture people about not voting. I think that not voting is a choice, and people should be respected for it. And if anything, if somebody doesn't vote, it's because none of the candidates, including myself, gave them a good enough reason to do so. So if you don't want to vote, that's fine. I understand, and I just hope maybe the next time you will. And if you're not sure on who to vote for, that's what I get for most people. when people don't vote, Joe, it isn't because it's too far to the polls or what day of the week it is. That's hogwash. That's just fantasy. That's just a hoax. That's just a rationalization excuse that a lot of people make. But the biggest reason I get from people, most common, I have talked to tens of thousands of voters over the years, literally, not exaggerating. And the most common reason for not voting is people say, I don't think I know enough about the election, about the candidates, the offices, the issues. And when you think about it, Middleborough, same as Rainham is, we do a lot of electing. There can be 10, 12, 14 offices on a ballot. And I don't think the average person walks around every day wondering who they should vote for in the Democratic primary for Secretary of State in September. That's just not, they have lives. They got families and jobs and responsibilities. So politics for a lot of people is kind of a occasional thing at best. And so I don't fault people for not voting. But I think if they're not sure about for whom to vote, or they don't think they know enough, the first thing I'd say is, well, why don't you ask somebody you know, somebody you respect that's involved in this stuff? Maybe somebody like yourself or your father or me. I know you and your dad follow things, and you'd be somebody, if somebody asked me who to vote for in Middleborough, I'd go call Joey Driscoll or Don Driscoll, because you guys would give them an honest answer.
Yeah,
it'd be biased and so forth, but if you're not sure who to vote, ask somebody who you trust, and maybe you'll hear it from them.
I think another thing as well is that the fact that a lot of these elections, there aren't many elections where it's contested elections. So you see elections where it's just one person on the ballot. So that also could be a small factor as well. People take a look at the ballot and say, "Oh, there aren't many elections that are contested. Why should I go out?" I think that might be something.
I don't disagree with that, Joe, but I think the fact of the matter is little towns like Middleborough, Rainham, Bridgewater, Easton, all the towns in Massachusetts, including the cities, which used to be towns, when they were first set up and some of these offices were created, the town only had a few hundred people in it, maybe 1,000. And to decide who got to be town clerk, or who got to be on the board of assessors, who got to be on the school committee, or who got to be a selectman. Every town had a school committee and selectman when they opened up. But just to decide who would get it, they decided to have an election. Well, a couple of hundred years later, I think things have changed, and a lot of towns no longer elect their town clerk. Your town clerk isn't elected in Middleborough. One in Rainham is. So, we do a lot of electing, and I think a lot of towns ought to be looking at things from, do you really need to have an election for some of these things? And in particular, this is the big one. We've had elections where people ran for a very technical, complicated office like town tax collector, town treasurer, and sometimes it didn't work out. Rainham, we used to elect our highway superintendent. No joke. We had a vote for who was going to run the DPW, and we had a guy die, and we had a couple of people come in, and they didn't stay very long. We had to have an appointment and a special election. So Rainham, we made the highway superintendent appointed. I think some of these administrative positions in the town, and they're all different. So I'm not but I am generalizing, I guess. The towns ought to look at what they do for electing, and look at how many times they've even had a contest, and maybe say, maybe we ought to make that an appointed one, and let's get back to, let's make electing about the things that there really is some competition for, and a need for the people to vote on.
Before I let you go here, switching gears here, what venues, music venues, switching over to a music topic here real quick, what music venues have you been to that you come out of the show saying, that was a great venue, and I'd go here again? I bring this up because I went to a concert a couple of weeks ago in Derry, New Hampshire, at Tupelo Music Hall. Went to go see A.J. Croce. Amazing, by the way.
Yeah, I know that one. Yeah.
Amazing, by the way. And A.J. Croce was awesome. Sounds, just like his father. So
Like it, I heard, yeah.
yes. So I posed a question to you. What is a venue that you come out of the venue after a show saying that was a good venue?
Well, I'll give you a couple that are local. One of them is the Narrow Center for the Arts in Fall River. And you can see some national acts, some iconic historic artists who are kind of in the twilight of their career, or maybe just at the beginning of it, for pretty cheap money. Sound and the Narrow Center, I saw Judy Collins, I saw Roseanne Cash, and I didn't have to pay hundreds of dollars for a ticket. And the place is very small. The seating capacity is a little over 300, and so there isn't a bad seat in the house. And you can get reserved seats for extra money or just general admission. So I would tell everybody, go right to Google or Facebook, Narrow Center for the Arts. I saw Dave Mason there. I saw Richie Havens. I saw Booker T, Liam Cheese. I saw Don Felder from the Eagles. And I only paid like $30, $40 for a ticket. And I sat 10 feet from the stage. So the Narrow Center for the Arts kind of tops my list. There's two places in Plymouth, the Spire and Memorial Hall.
Yes.
They have national touring acts, and the tickets are fairly inexpensive, and there was reserved seat. In other words, Narrows is general admission. If you get there earlier, you get a better seat. But the Spire and Memorial Hall, there's a seating chart, and you pay for a ticket. And they're not that big a venue to begin with, so even the back row is only like 40 feet from the stage. And so the Spire Memorial Hall over in Plymouth are really good. There's a place in Woonsocket, I think, I can't think of the name of it right now. I think it's the Paramount or something. But Woonsocket, Rhode Island isn't that far from Taunton Rainham.
No.
Those are the places locally I go to hear really high quality professional music.
So you mentioned the Narrows. I went to go see Sleepy LaBeef there, and he was awesome. He was awesome. It was one of his last concerts, I think, like a year or so before he died.
Yeah.
And my grandfather knew him personally. So I went to go see him with my grandfather several years ago, and that was a great experience as well. The Spire, you mentioned the Spire. I went to go see Uli John Roth there, and that was amazing. That venue is awesome, and the acoustics in there. Uli was just amazing, as he always is.
Yeah.
I agree with those picks for sure. Well, Jim, thank you so much for calling in today. We are kind of running a little late here on the next break.
Can I get
Absolutely.
one last word in, Joe?
Go ahead. Yep.
A sports thing.
Yes.
Who cares about Mike Vrabel and what he does with his personal life? He's a football coach. He got us in the Super Bowl. Who cares? What does that have? Are we really, is the media so hungry for information that they got to report on what the guy does with his personal life instead of what he does to make a living and what he should be known for? What a ridiculous waste of time.
Yeah, I haven't even bothered to mention it. Haven't even bothered to talk about it. It's not something I want to talk about. I think this is something that he just has to deal with outside of football on his own without people talking about it. I think that's
it has nothing to do with the game. It's
doesn't.
his personal life. It's not like he robbed a bank or he was involved in dealing drugs or the slave trade or the sex trafficking. This is what these players do off the field in their personal lives. Yes, it can affect the team and all of that. But at the end of the day, I think Mike Vrabel should be in Foxborough with the director of player personnel doing that draft and work out. And there should be zero. I cannot believe that the sports and that the news media, not the sports media, is spending time on that. Joey, always a pleasure. Say hi to Dad for me, my friend.
Thank you so much, Jim. Yep. Bye-bye. That was Jim giving us a call. A lot of great topics brought up there. The voting for tomorrow. And we'll be talking about that election as well once that election is done too. I'm sure. So stay tuned for that information on WVBF2. And yeah, I mean, the Mike Vrabel thing, I would just say let's move on from that and focus on football. The draft is this weekend, and it's an important draft. Day one is done. Patriots have a draft pick already picked out, a offensive lineman, which is great. I think they need more offensive linemen. Will Campbell is kind of been a shaky pick for them so far. I mean, yes, it's his rookie season. I get it. He had good, games in his rookie season. His next year here is going to be very, very important. And he was injured as well. So I get it. I get why, that's first season of his was shaky. But yeah, we have a draft going on. So I think off the field stuff needs to be handled off the field, away from the media. I think that's what I think, in my opinion, there as well. So I agree with Jim on that. We will see what happens in day two. Day two is tonight of the draft. I'll talk a little bit more about this here in the second hour. We'll also talk about my transportation topic as well. And hockey and basketball and baseball as well. We'll give an update of what's going on there with the NFL draft. I will give some of my picks that I think hit it out of the ballpark with some of these teams. Kansas City, I think they hit a home run with their pick. I'll talk about that in the next hour. But moving on from the sports, going back to what I was talking about here prior to Jim calling in. Volunteers are needed to help Middleborough honor veterans at 2 upcoming events. Veterans and non-veterans are invited to place veteran flags at area cemeteries. This is going to take place on Saturday, April 25th. That's tomorrow. Breakfast will be served for volunteers at 8 a.m. at the Middleborough Elks, located at 24 High Street. Participants will then meet at St. Mary's Cemetery on Wood Street. That's after breakfast. Veterans Office is also looking for volunteers to help the Hometown Heroes banners put those up starting on May 16th at 9 a.m. at the Town Hall in Middleborough. Banners will be placed at various locations throughout town. Each banner bears the name and service information of a local veteran. To sign up for both of these events or either of these events, call the Middleborough Veterans Office at 508-946-2407. So there you go. Next week's events. There are 3 events to talk about here for next week. First off, in Middleborough, America 250 celebration will be happening in Middleborough. It's a special community event at Town Hall, the Town Hall lawn. Saturday, May 2nd, 10 a.m. to 2 for that event. The Town of Middleborough invites residents and visitors to this exciting and patriotic event. It'll feature live performances by the Massachusetts Army National Guard Band and the Hingham Militia, bringing history to life through music and reenactment. The Middleborough resident Mary Standish will present a unique historical portrayal of Deborah Sampson, one of the nation's pioneering female soldiers. And also, that's one of the Hometown Heroes banners as well that gets put up. That was put up right in front of Town Hall. I think that will probably continue to happen, being put up right in front of Town Hall, Deborah Sampson's Hometown Hero banner. Admission is free and open to the public. Enjoy free pizza and non-alcoholic beverages while supplies last. Live music and historical performances will be going on as well. The event is sponsored by the Middleborough Veterans Department with support from the Pierce Trustees and Tourism Committee. So there you go there. The Raynham Lions, their county breakfast, that takes place this next Saturday, May the 2nd, the first Saturday of each month it takes place. All money raised will go to the Raynham Lions Building and Maintenance Fund. 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. for this event. Eggs, sausage, pancakes, bacon will be served as well. Already making me hungry. Location, Raynham Lions Hall, 2234 King Philip Street, Raynham. Breakfast will be served between 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. Breakfast, again, as I mentioned, eggs, pancakes, bacon, sausage, home fries. Home fries are awesome. Again, making me hungry there. Coffee, tea, and juice. All for the cost of $10 per person. Children 10 and under are going to be free. Pay at the door. For more information, you can call the Raynham Lions Hall, 508-823-7911. And then finally, for Taunton, there's an event coming up next Saturday in Taunton, the Polish Food Sale to support TCN Meal Ministry, which is Taunton Catholic North Meal Ministry. A pickup will be Saturday, the 2nd of May, 1 to 2:30 p.m. at St. Jude Hall, 249 Whittington Street, which is in Taunton. Last day to order will be this Monday, April 27th. Stuffed cabbage is $2.75. Potato and cheese pierogi, half dozen, $6. Cabbage pierogi, half dozen, $6. Linguiça pierogi, half dozen, $6.50. Capusta, 1 cup, $2 for that. So there you go. Those are all the events happening this week and next week and into May here in the area. Coming out of the news break, we will be mentioning a couple of other things going on as well. We'll do our sports, we'll do our transportation, take your phone calls in the second hour. 10:35 a.m., Chachi the Pratt will be calling in, talking about upcoming events for him and also some events that have happened already here in 2026. Chachi the Pratt, 10:35 a.m. this morning, breakfast with the Beatles, Chachi the Pratt. We'll be right back.
We are AM 1530, WVBF, Middleborough, Taunton, and W259DD, Middleborough Center, 99.7 FM, your hometown radio station.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall.
1 hour down.
Thomas.
All right.
Ferocious storms batter the plains, and Oklahoma is ground zero for the wicked weather.
A powerful tornado in Oklahoma ripped roofs off buildings, knocked down power poles, and sent emergency crews rushing into a rural community near Vance Air Force Base.
Ew, look at that. It's a satellite tornado. Good night.
Video provided by KWTV TV shows multiple occurrences across the field, destroying buildings in its path.
He's in the trees.
As debris flew through the air, the confirmed tornado moved across parts of Enid, a city of about 50,000 people. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
In South Georgia, around 90 homes burned by wildfires fed by gusty winds and tinder dry conditions. Tens of thousands of acres have been charred with only minimal containment of those fires so far. President Trump takes the wraps off a deal with another drug maker to lower its pharmaceutical prices.
The president is touting Regeneron's decision to make its products more affordable to American patients.
Wait a second. To offer their prescription medications at heavily discounted, most favored nation prices.
The deal involves Regeneron lowering the prices of current and all future drugs on Medicaid. It also involves selling a cholesterol drug on the White House's discounted drug website. Ray Clugston, Washington.
The president has extended a waiver that makes it easier for foreign vessels to transport oil and natural gas to the U.S. It's a 90-day waiver of the Jones Act, and it has sent crude prices modestly lower this morning. And ahead of the opening bell on Wall Street, stock futures are mixed. The Dow futures are down 131 points. On the NASDAQ, futures are up almost 300 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural reference is only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
Spring cleaning isn't just for your house, it's for your life. If your job is getting old, it's time to clear the clutter and spring into IT. Go to My Computer Career.
My Computer Career helped me get the skills and certifications I needed to start a new life as an IT professional in months, not years.
Earn the certifications that top employers are looking for right now. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation to see if it's time to spring into IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
The U.S., China, and India are taking a pass on a big alternative energy summit in South America.
Against a backdrop of rising global tensions and energy market instability, governments from around 50 countries are gathering on Friday in Colombia's Caribbean city of Santa Marta for a summit aimed at accelerating the shift away from fossil fuels. The April 24 to 29 conference will bring together ministers, academics, and civil society groups to discuss how to move beyond oil, gas, and coal. The meeting reflects growing frustration among some governments and advocates that decades of UN climate negotiations have failed to directly address fossil fuel production, the main driver of global warming, prompting the Santa Marta summit to push the issue outside formal talks. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
The EU has approved a $106 billion loan package for Ukraine. Decision comes after Russian oil began flowing again to Hungary and Slovakia through a key pipeline. Townhall.com.
Hello, caller. We're on a commercial break. Just hang with us. We'll be right back on the air in just a minute.
They all be placed under the control of the upstart Paramount Skydance soon. That's because shareholders of Warner Brothers Discovery approved an $81 billion sale of the company on Thursday. The deal, including debt, valued at nearly $111 billion. If approved, the mega merger would vastly reshape Hollywood and the wider media landscape. It would further consolidate power in an industry already run by just a handful of major players. Bob Andrew reporting.
In the latest round of tech industry job cuts, Meta laying off about 8,000 workers. Microsoft is offering buyouts to a similar number. Meta confirms it plans to cut about 10% of its workforce in an effort to invest in other parts of its business and for greater efficiency, as first reported by Bloomberg. More on these stories at townhall.com.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and do not express the views of WVBF ownership or Hometown Talk Radio. Content aired on all programs are those of the host and their guests.
It's time for Hometown Talk on AM 1530 and 99.7 FM. Our phone lines are now open at 508-822-1106.
Okay, we are back as I turn down the bumper music. There we go. And we have a caller on the line. So let's say good morning, caller.
Hi there, this is Democratic Cowboy. How are you?
Democratic Cowboy, how you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm pretty good. I'm feeling my throat a little bit. Hey, listen, I just watched Channel 7 News.
Yes.
You remember the old days? I don't think you remember the old days, 1958, 57.
No, not really. No.
Well, remember when you used to get Frosted Flakes and you used to get sugar pops?
Mm-hmm.
The cereals on the shelves?
Yeah.
Well, now they've divided the way with, I know the old days because I used to do it. I always looked at the back of the package before I bought the cereal. I saw a little toy. Like the Lone Ranger had a silver bullet inside the cereal.
Yeah.
You know? And then, well, now they've divided the way with the Toy Story. So the Toy Story thing in the Frosted Flakes.
Toy Story, the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a little toy, a little plastic toy, and put it in every cereal. And it's always on the bottom of the box. So you have to take your hand, right? Open a cereal, and it's unsanitary. And take your hand.
Yeah.
That's right. Take your hand and put it back in the bottom of the box, and you get the toy.
Yeah. That's definitely a way to advertise the movie. Of course, I mean, it's interesting. You'll see a lot more of that, a lot more of those kind of ways to advertise. There's a lot of different ways to advertise those movies. Toy Story is a big one, a big movie that's coming up.
Yeah. What I used to like is the Burger King.
Yep.
I'd like to get that again. The Lord of the Rings goblet. A glass goblet at the Burger King. It lights up. That would really work something.
I'd love to know how much money is made on some of these marketing campaigns. McDonald's just had a marketing campaign based on, K-pop Demon Hunters as well. Every once in a while, they team up with, and Burger King does this too. They team up with celebrities. They've done it with several celebrities before. I'd love to know how much money they make on these things. It must be a lot because they keep doing this stuff. So it's interesting.
Well, back in the day, it was a silver bullet that I used to find in the bottom of the box. The Lone Ranger. And then it was Wild Bill Hickok. He had his little toy gun. Wild Bill Hickok, Guy Madison was on the front of the cover. Now it's something else. You know what I mean? With that and then the Captain Midnight Dakota Ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes.
So
anything else going on?
Have they had that show yet in Lowell NXT?
They are going to have that. I believe that's coming up in. Is that June or July? It's somewhere around there. Late June, early July, somewhere around there. They had the event in Plymouth, and that was interesting a couple of weeks ago. They've got a couple of events, I'm sure, coming up around there.
How's Plymouth doing?
I heard some good things. Some good matches happened on the show. I believe Solruka and Zarya happened on that show. I'm not sure what else happened on that show. I think Tatum Paxley was on that show as well. I heard a couple of good things about that. Memorial Hall is a great venue.
I hope Joey.
Yes.
I hope the day never comes that they go back to house shows. I'm too old to travel.
I don't
travel up to VFW.
Yeah.
And that's as far as I'm going.
I don't.
You know what I mean? Unless somebody comes to my door and gives me a ride.
I think.
I'll tell you, I tried it with the Providence Civic Center.
Yeah.
A lot of Monday Night Raw. When Roman Reigns was the champion, and I'm telling you, he was telling everybody he had cancer, and I'm telling you, I couldn't even get up in the bleach seat.
Yeah, I think the days of a WWE live event happening at, for example, Cape Cod Melody Tent is over. I don't think that'll ever happen again. I think the company is just moving on from live events, from the house shows. They're just moving on from that model. Really, the house shows only really happen during the weekends, and they happen when they go overseas. They go to Europe or they go to South America, which they'll be doing in, I believe that's going to be happening in September. They're going to be going back to Japan, I belive, as well, if I'm what I heard.
Wow.
So,
where'd you get this information? You know more than me.
It's available on WWE.com. But yeah, they announced a lot of live events in Europe. They do tours whenever they have an event going on in Europe, which I'm sure they have a couple coming up here. And when we get to the summer months, I know they have the next Saudi Arabia show coming up next month as well. Some questions about if that's going to happen or not. I don't know. Maybe it will.
I don't know when the next one for us is going to be at the VFW. I have no idea. But the girl there, Olivia, she travels all over the place. She goes everywhere. She goes beyond wrestling. She's something else. And JT, I was watching yesterday on the computer. Yep. On the computer, they got Independent Wrestling on Edge, and the guy that gave JT a hell of a run for his money was Gersick, Kenny Gersick. He used to be a guard. They hired him as a guard up in Worcester to guard the WWE wrestlers. And he was a wrestler now. And Jack Savage trained him. And Tony Almore. He went to that school, along with Mario Mancini and the rest of the guys. I'd love to see Mario Mancini's listening out there. I'd like to see Paul Roller, Mario Mancini come to VFW and see these guys wrestle. They have something else.
The WWE just signed a wrestler I'm very interested in watching here. She makes her debut next week on NXT. She is she was very popular in Britain, the European scene there. She is actually the niece of Clive Burr, who former Iron Maiden member passed away. That is really interesting. I'd love to see that next week, her debut. I think she's going to do great things in WWE.
Paige is back.
Paige is back as well, which I love.
You know, let me tell you a good story about Paige.
Yep.
I met her brother at WrestleMania, I think it was 16 in Boston, when Shawn Michaels got knocked out by Tyson, and Pete Rose got knocked out by Kane because of the big mouth. And I met her brother, and I gave her brother $10, and then he gave it back to me in another show, you know, and he wanted to go see the Red Sox play. And I met her brother at number 16.
Interesting, yeah.
So I'm very happy to see Paige come back.
I am too. I think she's going to do great in WWE this time around in this run. I think there's a lot of great matches that she can have. A lot of people are talking about Paige versus Rhea Ripley. Yeah, that would be a good match. I think that would be a great match. Anyway, thank you, Democratic Cowboy, for calling in. It's 10:15 here. I got to go to a commercial break, but thank you so much for calling.
Welcome, Joey. Keep up the good work. You make sure you get a wrestling show going.
Thank you so much for calling.
Come up and pick me up. I'll buy you lunch.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Democratic. Thank you. Bye-bye. The Democratic Cowboy calling in there. Yeah, I mean, a lot of interesting things going on in the wrestling world. As I mentioned, that wrestler, her name, Leverson, I forget her last name. But her WWE name is going to be Lizzie Rain. And again, niece of Clive Burr, former Iron Maiden member. Clive Burr is her uncle. So that's a big deal, I think, in my opinion. That's cool. I'd love to follow her journey there in WWE. Again, she starts in NXT next week. So that's interesting stuff. All right, well, I'm going to take our commercial break, 10:16 a.m. Open phone lines here, 508-822-1106. Again, Chachi LaPrette will be calling in at 10:35 a.m. this morning. Let's take our commercial break. I think we are going to push our transportation topic to probably Sunday's show. We'll finish this first half hour with the sports and your phone calls. 508-822-1106. We'll be right back. Okay, 268.
Coming to WBBF beginning Friday, May 1st, it's Voices of Our
428,
Region. Our
425.
ways, our stories, our impact with host
Hey there.
Laura.
Henry Country
It's a
Journal
live,
promo. It's a Thursday out.
community-centered radio program that will explore the rich cultural histories and contributions of the diverse populations that have shaped southeastern Massachusetts. Through engaging conversations, storytelling, and guest interviews, the program will highlight the people, traditions, and experiences which continue to define our area. As we celebrate our nation's 250th anniversary, this program offers a timely opportunity to reflect on who we are as a community, honor our shared history, and amplify the voices that continue to shape the region's future. Don't miss the premiere of Voices of Our Region, Our Roots, Our Stories, Our Impact with host Louis Laura, Friday, May 1st from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on your hometown radio station, WBBF.
I didn't think taking a few of my buddy's pain pills would be that big of a deal.
Holding on to an old prescription? Who cares?
My grandma was going to use those pills anyway.
It wasn't a problem.
Our stories are different, but the outcomes are the same.
You could save someone's life.
It's time to take back your unused or expired prescription drugs.
Before they end up lost?
Stolen. Or simply misused.
Help keep our community safe and healthy at DEA's Take Back Day, April 25th.
No, we don't want that. 33. Thank you. All right, 10:19. 9, 3, 2, 1. And welcome back. It is 10:19 a.m. It's time for our sports here for today. We'll start off with the Red Sox, of course. Red Sox unfortunately got swept against the Yankees this week. Tough games here. 4-0 loss, a 4-1 loss, and then a 4-2 loss. Getting outscored 16-3. Not fun for the Red Sox. Roman Anthony is out of the lineup, apparently with back tightness. But he wasn't playing well before. So I'm wondering if that's, it's not back tightness and it's actually just because he has been playing bad. And they just want to sit him for the time being. I guess I don't know. If he misses like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then we'll know it's probably back tightness. But I don't know. Anyway. Then that's what is being said. It's back tightness. Maybe that's why he's playing so poorly. Again, not off to a good start this year. Marcelo Mayer as well, not off to a good start either. There aren't many players that are off to a good start here on the Red Sox team. 9-16 record right now through 25 games. Just a really bad record for them. Hopefully they can get it together here. This next 2 series here, Orioles and Blue Jays, are going to be a very important one for them. Hopefully they can get it together a little bit. The series with the Blue Jays is at 7:05 p.m., game 1 of that series. It's a 3-game series through the weekend here. Then they travel to Toronto. Then they go back to Fenway after that. But a 7:05 p.m. start this evening, Red Sox versus the Orioles. For the NFL draft, some of the NFL things here going on. Let's talk a little bit about this. What happened in the draft last night? The big winners here, I think, in my opinion, Las Vegas is a big winner here. Fernando Mendoza with the number 1 pick in the draft. I think Fernando Mendoza is going to have a great tenure here with the Raiders. Does he make the Raiders better overnight? No. Raiders still have work to do there. But does this help? Yes. I think Fernando Mendoza is a great quarterback. I think it could be the solution that they need when it comes to the quarterback position. So I love that pick. Jeremiah Love's a great pick for the Arizona Cardinals. Another great pick for the Chiefs. The Chiefs, great. By the way, before I talk about the Chiefs, the Eagles drafted their A.J. Brown replacement. This is all pretty much confirms A.J. Brown's probably done in Philly, and he'll be heading off to New England. As the rumors are, the rumors seem to be the Patriots will be signing A.J. Brown after June 1st. So we'll see if those rumors are actually correct here for that. But the Chiefs, I want to talk about the Chiefs here, and then we'll talk about the Patriots pick. The Chiefs, in their draft, they drafted, excuse me, one second here. They drafted very early on. Let me get that pick here, if I can. Okay. There we go. So the Browns traded down for the 9th pick. The Chiefs were in the 9th pick. They traded down. Browns were in the 6th pick. They traded down to the 9th pick. Chiefs bolt up to the 6th pick. They pick Mansour Delane, center back for defensive back there for LSU. Great pick. I think this pick is going to be a steal for the Chiefs. And I think Chiefs have done it again. They've had a lot of draft success over the years. So I think that just kind of continues there with that pick. We will see if I'm right on that. But there you go. Caleb Lumu is the pick for the Patriots, getting picked number 29. Or 28, sorry, 28. You traded up with the Bills to do so, to get Caleb Lumu. Good pick, I think. I don't know too much about him, but it gives us some help on the offensive line, which we desperately need. Will Campbell was injured for quite a bit of the year and didn't have an amazing rookie season. Hopefully he, in his second year, does better than what he did in his first year. But getting some help there for that offensive line, getting some help for Will Campbell, Caleb Lumu, I think that's a good pick for the Patriots. We'll see what happens in day 2 tonight, what they get here in day 2. But there you go. For baseball, we move over to some baseball, some minor league baseball. The Worcester Red Sox continue their series with the Syracuse Mets. 6:05 p.m. this evening. Worcester is currently 13-10. That's not a bad record to have, I think. We're heading towards the 25-game mark here of a 150-game season, and the Worcester Red Sox, I think they're doing all right here to start. They were off to a much better start at the beginning, first week or two of the year, but they had cooled down a little bit. They're starting to, I think, heat back up. Well, we'll see here what happens there. Big last couple of games here. They have to have a big weekend, and this is Portland I'm talking about. Portland's sitting at 9-8 right now, kind of a mediocre record. They take on Hartford. Again, they're in Portland. Worcester is in Worcester. Portland is in Portland for this one. Delta Park. Worcester in Polar Park. 6 o'clock start for Portland and Hartford. This has been an interesting series so far. Hartford's gotten some wins in this series. Portland has gotten some wins in this series. Portland wants to win this series. I think this weekend is going to be a big weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, to get some big wins here. For High A Greenville. Greenville takes on Asheville. The Asheville Tourists, who are 5-13 right now. They were able to steal a game in extras yesterday. We'll see what happens going forward there. Greenville is 8-10. Greenville has been doing pretty well in this series so far. Hopefully they can continue that this weekend with some wins. And we'll have to see what happens. Salem is doing, they're not doing bad in this series that they're in right now with Fredericksburg. 6:35 p.m. start for that game in single A baseball. Salem Ridgeacs are 10-8, so we'll have to see what happens there. Again, as a reminder here, if you've been watching the Salem Ridgeacs, they were 7-2 to start the year. So 10-8 record now. Not great. Hopefully they can pick it back up and get some wins here. But that game's at 6:35. For the Celtics, game number 3 is going to be tonight, 7 p.m. start against the Philadelphia 76ers. Series is tied at 1 apiece. Joel Embiid might be coming back in the series. He was upgraded from out to doubtful for this game. He probably won't play in this game, but he could be back for the series, and that could change the series a little bit. I don't know how much of a difference it makes. I think Celtics still win the series, but the 76ers could extend it even longer. We'll have to see. But I think the Celtics will still win the series. Anyway, that's game 3 tonight. For Boston, we move over to Boston Bruins here. Their next game isn't until Sunday. Buffalo leads the series 2-1. I have a feeling this is going to go 7. Buffalo has hanged with the Bruins. That horrible game 1 loss where the Bruins should have won that game. I think they would have been up 2-1 if they had won that game. They did not. So that's a frustrating thing. Game 4 is 2 p.m. on Sunday. We'll have to see what happens in that one. So that'll do it for this half hour. I will be back here after the news. And coming out of the news, Chachi LaPrette will be joining us via the phone line. So stay tuned for that. I'll be talking about all sorts of different things. Lorenzo's events coming up in Middleborough this summer. We'll be talking about some of the other events happening this spring, some of the events that have happened since we last talked to him as well. And I'm sure much more coming up with Chachi LaPrette of Breakfast with the Beatles coming up in just a couple of minutes at 10:35 a.m. But first, here's the Town Hall News.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. It's been 55 days since President Trump ordered the attack on Iran, and Secretary of War Hegseth says although the opening phase of the conflict is wrapped up, the war is not over.
That mission continues today in this new phase as Iran has an important choice, a chance to make a deal, a good deal, a wise deal.
Hegseth says the blockade of Iranian ports has been highly effective, with 34 ships turned around in the Strait of Hormuz so far. Joint Chiefs Chairman General Dan Kane says the joint force remains postured and prepared to recommence major combat operations on orders from President Trump. Mr. Trump says Israel and Lebanon have agreed to extend a ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah by 3 weeks. This after talks at the White House. And there's word this morning that the Iranian foreign minister will be traveling to Pakistan, Oman, and Russia. An American soldier is accused of taking a gamble that could cost him much more than he won.
Federal prosecutors allege a U.S. Special Forces soldier involved in the planning and execution of the military operation to capture Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro used that knowledge to win more than $400,000 in an online betting market. The indictment says the soldier was promoted to the rank of Master Sergeant in 2023, the second highest enlisted rank in the Army. He's been charged with unlawful use of confidential government information for personal gain, theft of non-public government information, commodities fraud, wire fraud, and making an unlawful monetary transaction. He could face years in prison. Ben Thomas, Washington.
Powerful storms have again pounded the plains, destructive tornadoes, damaging hail across parts of Oklahoma and Kansas. On Wall Street this morning, stocks are mixed. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 148 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
If you don't care about saving 50% off your wireless bill for the same 5G coverage the big guys are charging a fortune for, maybe you care about keeping jobs in America. Pure Talk does. They've pledged to run their entire operation from this country, including all their customer service. Or maybe you care about our nation's veterans. Pure Talk does. They've donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to America's Warrior Partnership, a fantastic organization working hard to prevent veteran suicide. Or maybe you care about closing America's skills gap. Pure Talk does. They're a proud supporter of MicroWorks. They're helping my foundation train the next generation of skilled workers. Don't get me wrong, saving money's great, and you'll save plenty with Pure Talk. But if you want to be in business with people who share your values, dial pound 250, say micro, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
The Trump administration is singling out China in a crackdown on foreign tech companies exploiting U.S. artificial intelligence programs.
President Donald Trump's chief science and technology advisor, Michael Kratsios, has issued a memo accusing mostly China of extracting capabilities from leading AI systems made in the U.S. and exploiting American expertise and innovation. And Kratsios says the administration will work with American AI companies to identify and punish offenders. In Beijing, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Guo Jiaqun calls U.S. claims groundless and says they're a smear against the achievements of China's artificial intelligence industry. And he says the U.S. should stop suppressing China's technological development. Donna Warder, Washington.
Forced to avoid the Strait of Hormuz, businesses have doled out as much as $4 million to cross ships through the Panama Canal.
Good morning. Is this Chachi? Good morning, Chachi. We're going to be on the air in about 1 minute. All right, 3, 2, 1, and 0. And welcome back to Hometown Talk. It's the Friday edition of Hometown Talk. I am Joey Driscoll. Today is Friday, April 24th, 2026. It's the final Friday before the month of May. Next Friday is May 1st. Sure doesn't feel like May 1st. Almost May 1st, especially in the morning, and evening hours with the cold temperatures still. But joining us on the phone lines is Chachi the Pret from Breakfast with the Beatles. Good morning, Chachi.
Good morning, Joey. Always a pleasure to be on your program, and hope you've done well. And yeah, I wish it was a little warmer, but it's nice in the sun in Middleborough, sitting outside.
So we'll start off with since the last time we talked, what are some big events that you have been doing since we last talked? I think we last talked in January.
That's right. I love to check in every quarter or so, but now that the weather's breaking, we do have a schedule of Beatle events, and I'm here to run through them for you and for your audience. And whether you love the Beatles or not, these events are a lot of fun, and Joey's been to my events before, but first and foremost, closest on the calendar would be next Wednesday night, April 29th, one night only. I am hosting a screening at the Showcase Legacy Place in Dedham. to showcase cinema. The film is Power to the People, John and Yoko in New York City. It's a one-night only show, one time only. I'll be hosting with, my pal on stage, John Logan, Beatles magician. We'll be giving away some John and Yoko vinyl, and we'll watch this fantastic concert film, Power to the People, John and Yoko in New York City. So we're going to be screening a film next Wednesday night.
That's awesome. Tell us a little bit more about that film and what people can maybe expect a little bit.
It is a live concert that John and Yoko did to raise money for charity, and it's the first time being shown in a major film like this with all remastered sound. So it's a lot of fun. And then May 2nd, which is next Saturday night, a week from this Saturday, I'm doing an event to help the Service Dog Project. We love these dogs. They help people. It's a great organization. So I am hosting, along with John Logan, a benefit for the Service Dog Project next Saturday, May 2nd. It's across town, the other side of Boston, at the Beverly Peabody Elks. We have two bands, Revolver and Vintage Skinnerd, and John and I are doing a mini come-together show like we would do when you come to City Winery shows. So that's next Saturday in Beverly Peabody Elks for the Service Dog Project. We love helping animals, and this is such a great charity.
I know coming up, and not too long from now, a couple of months, is Lorenzo's events. What's on tap for that?
We are excited about our return to Lorenzo's, the best Italian food, the best cannolis. We love Lorenzo's. And, I'm a Middleborough resident, and I frequently eat at Lorenzo's. But in the summertime, they have a giant outdoor tent and tables and full menu, bar menu, food menu, and we do Beatles nights. So our first one is Friday night, June 5th, and I'll be spinning records with Stephanie on stage and spinning Beatles music. John Logan and I host, and it's just a great, fun, free event, June 5th at Lorenzo's. But I would advise you to call and make a reservation to guarantee you a spot. And then we're back on July 17th. We do 4 shows a year at Lorenzo's this summer. July 17th. And then August 29th is our big one where we have a live Beatle band performing. We'll be announcing that band shortly. And then I hate to even talk about September, but we will wrap it up in September on the 18th. So 4 Beatle nights at Lorenzo's, our return there. We love when you and Don come, and we get good crowds. People love it. They eat such great food. It's such great Italian food at Lorenzo's. And so we have a lot of fun there. So join us at Lorenzo's this summer, and you can go to their website. All the dates are there. They have music every week. So there's lots of outdoor events going on at Lorenzo's. And then we're looking in July, Joey, the Fab Four coming to the South Shore Music Circus on July 25th. And then on July 26th at the Cape Cod Melody Tent. We love the Fab Four. They dress up. They have the instruments. They do a fantastic show. Again, John Logan and I will be emceeing both of those shows, and we'll have a booth set up in the concourse at the Music Circus and at the Melody Tent. Come by and say hi. We sell our show T-shirts, meet the fans, talk Beatles, and we're going to MC both of those shows. So, and then on July 17th, if you're out in the Lowell area, our friends in the Fab Four are playing at the Lowell Summer Music Series outdoors. The Fab Four, which are a great New York band, but they are just the consummate professionals, musicians, and they love the Beatles and recreate their songs in a really special way. So the Fab Four, which is different from the Fab Four. So keep that in mind.
So you mentioned the Cape Cod Melody Tent. I've been to the Cape Cod Melody Tent. This was a while ago, a long time ago. Back in 2008, I attended a WWE live event at the Cape Cod Melody Tent in 2008. A great venue. So
It is. It's been around.
yeah.
And we always have a lot of fun. I've seen many shows there through the years. And it's a great, even the Melody Tent, the music circus, great environment to see live.
And you also mentioned the first Lorenzo's event, June 5th. That sounds like a great birthday thing to do, a great birthday event to do. It's my birthday, so that
June 5th.
that checks out. Yeah.
Wow,
Yes,
you'll have to be our special guest, Joey. Please, I know you probably have, you might have other plans for your birthday, but if you can make it to ours, we would certainly sing happy birthday.
I'm definitely going to be attending. I'll definitely make that a priority there to attend that one for sure. So I asked this question. I brought this question out to the listeners today. What is a venue that you have gone to see a concert that when you were finished with the concert, the night was over, that you thought that was a great venue and that you would go back again and see another concert? It could be any venue, it could be a big one or a small one.
Sure. I think of my experiences of seeing shows, and I'm pretty lucky. Get to go backstage in different situations. And one year we were guests of Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga at Tanglewood when Tony and Lady Gaga were doing shows together. And that's a great venue to see music out at Tanglewood, a little far away. But certainly the Cabot Theater in Beverly is a great smaller theater. The environment is really nice. The Regent Theater in Arlington. I think you've been to the Regent, right, Joey?
I did, yes. I attended one of your events.
Yeah, that theater is over 100 years old, and they're celebrating their 110th anniversary on Saturday night at the Regent Theater, and they're going to have vaudeville acts and comedians, and going back to 105 years ago, they had vaudevillian performers on stage, and so there's a huge history there at the Regent Theater. But those are my favorite things.
So I brought that question up because a couple of weeks ago I went up to New Hampshire, Derry, New Hampshire. It's a great music venue up there called the Tupelo Music Hall, and I went to go see A.J. Croce, the son of Jim Croce, and what a fun night! It was a fun night. He was awesome. Did a lot of his father's hits as well. Bad Badly, Roy Brown was awesome. Did some of his originals, which I absolutely love. There was some great originals that he did. It was a really fun night. And just seeing him on stage there, especially during the more emotional parts of the show. He did a couple of some big Jim Croce songs that were very emotional. And the encore was one of Jim Croce's songs. I don't know. I'm forgetting the name of it right now. Forgetting the name of it off the top of my head. Don, if you're listening out there, give me a call. Where Jim Croce would start out singing, and then halfway through the song, AJ comes in, and it was just so beautiful. It was really
duet.
Yes, it was really beautiful. That's why I brought up that question there about the venues. Because
I've been to Tupelo, the music hall. The last time I was there, it was Pete Best's last couple of shows, before his retirement. Of course, Pete Best was the Beatles' original drummer, and we went out there and I emceed with John Logan. We emceed the last two Pete Best concerts at Tupelo. It was a lot of fun. That is a great venue.
Absolutely. And I just want to try to find this here for everybody so that I can mention it. It is Time in a Bottle. That's the name of the song. Time in a Bottle. Jim Croce started out singing, and then about halfway through the song, AJ comes in. It's so beautiful. He had a thing in the back of him where they were showing pictures of Jim Croce and AJ as well. He did Photographs and Memories as well, which was another really touching song. when he did it as well. And Bad Bad Leroy Brown, so electric because everyone was in the venue was singing that, and that's one of my favorite songs as well.
Well, we all miss Jim Croce. That was sad, but it's great that his son is carrying on. I've seen him on TV interviews, and yeah, it's emotional. I mean, those lyrics, "Time in a Bottle," "Photographs and Memories." I mean, and then you see him singing with his dad. I mean, how can you not get emotional? Those are great tracks, great songs.
Absolutely. For the Beatles, what is something that's coming up here maybe in the next couple of months for the Beatles when it comes to any material that's getting released for the Beatles?
Today, Joey, Ringo Starr is releasing another solo album. Long, Long Road, it's called, and it's being released today. It's a country record produced by T-Bone Burnett, and so we're happy about that. Ringo is, he's still performing another solo album. I think it's like his 24th solo LP. So that's happening today, and Man on the Run was just released, which was the Paul documentary. I loved it. It's now on different platforms to go see, so go look for Man on the Run. The John and Yoko film I already mentioned, that's happening now. But there's always things going on, and can't wait for the next big thing. But go and see Man on the Run. That's a great film.
Yeah. By the way, Ringo, one of the guest stars on that album is going to be Sheryl Crow, and I love Sheryl Crow. I think she's great.
Yeah, and Ringo was on Jimmy Kimmel this past Monday night, and you should go on YouTube and find it because he was hilarious, funny, great interview. Jimmy Kimmel revealed that in college he once hosted a college radio show called Breakfast with the Beatles, and he didn't know anything about the Beatles, so he'd make up stories about them on the show. And he revealed that in the interview. That was very fun. And then I tweeted out to Jimmy Kimmel, "Hey, come on my Breakfast with the Beatles show. We'll have fun." No response so far. So.
What is an album that you're looking forward to here in 2026 that may not be Beatles related?
Well, you come up with these questions, Joey. I don't have anything on my radar at the moment, and I apologize for that. But Paul's new album. Paul's new album. He has an album coming out in May, and he already released the first single off of it, and it's a great track. And it's a brand new record coming out. So Paul's putting out a solo album on which Ringo performs on a track.
Which is awesome, which is really, really awesome. I was kind of looking through the 2026 albums as well. You got a lot of legacy people putting out albums still here in 2026. Joe Jackson just put out an album. I mean, we're in 2026 and we're still talking about, the Rolling Stones as well. I think they're putting out an album in the not too distant future. I don't know if it's their last one. It might be. I'm hearing some things about that, but yeah, I mean, Aerosmith just re-released some old songs, like Back in the Saddle with Youngblood, and Youngblood's great, and that was really talked about over the past couple of weeks because that was the main official song for WrestleMania. So those kind of songs they get a lot talked about. So a lot of legacy people still doing some good stuff here in 2026.
Well, I love the fact that all these things about music coming up. I'm always focused on what I'm doing on my Beatles agenda with the radio show, and the podcast, and events, and sometimes I don't see the schedule for the year, but it's great that you're so up on all the releases. And you're such a music fan, and I admire that. I appreciate it.
So what do you got your show coming up this weekend? What do you have coming up for that show this weekend?
Oh, for the radio show. Yes. This weekend we had. Oh my God, I can't even figure it because I'm 3 shows ahead right now. I'm working on my Mother's Day show. I can't remember what the show is about tomorrow. I'll find out when I get into the station. But every week we have the Mad Remixer. This guy is unbelievable. His name is Dave Lentz. At the top of our second hour, he remixes a Beatles track beyond what anyone else can do. He has state-of-the-art equipment, and he does a focus on a Beatles song each week. So we always have the Mad Remixer, Dave Lentz. People love him. He's just celebrated his 200th show with me, although I've been doing Breakfast with the Beatles since 84, 85, something like that.
And
You should listen. It's Saturday morning, 6 to 8 a.m. on WUMB 91.9 in Boston. And then, Joey, I got picked up in Minnesota on Sundays. My show's now on in Minnesota. It's on in Vermont, Maine, Seacoast Oldies, Vermont, WVTK, KRPR in Minnesota. So, yeah, it's great that people are picking up, my stations are picking up the show. And my podcast, Get Back to the Beatles, is going strong. You can find that at pod617.com. which is part of the Boston Podcast Network.
And finally, I guess we'll finish up with this here because this is a big topic. In the Boston baseball world, the 9-15 Boston Red Sox. What are your thoughts of the first, 24 games, 9-16 Red Sox, the first 25 games? What is your thoughts
of this season on the Red Sox?
Yes, so far, at least.
I tell you, man, you come up with the greatest questions. I'm not a big baseball fan, but I know they've had a rocky start.
Yeah.
So I don't. Listen, there's a lot of games, right? It's a long season.
Yeah.
And it's better to get this out of the system now than in October, I guess. Right.
Exactly. It's like it's like if the Celtics had started off that way. It's better to. It's like you said. It's better to get it out of your system now, for sure.
It's a lot of games, and things change so quickly. The next 10 games. If they sweep the next 10 games, then everybody loves it. But it's a long season, and it's early, and so we'll see how it goes.
We'll finish up with this Beatles related question. When it comes to the Beatles, out of the any of the four, has any of the four done like any big national anthem kind of thing for a sporting event? No. Really?
No, they've never done that. They weren't into sports. They don't sing the national anthem. They do their own thing, and they were never really into soccer and none of that stuff.
Yeah, not even in Britain.
It was about the music.
Wow, that's interesting. How can people get a hold of you if they have a question?
My pleasure. You can reach me by email. Breakfast with the Beatles 909, the number. Breakfast with the Beatles 909 at Gmail. You can go to our website, breakfastwiththebeatleschachi.com. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Breakfast with the Beatles Chachi. So there's numerous ways to reach me, and I'm on X and I'm on Instagram. And so we always like to communicate. I just got an email the other day, Joey, from a listener who was on vacation in Nepal. And he was listening to past shows at night while he's out with the elephants. He sent pictures of him with elephants in the marketplace where there were some Beatle posters hanging out. So we have listeners that listen all over the world. I have a listener in Guam who sends me messages, Portugal, Australia. And you can stream on my radio show all over the world. So it's really, really fun to get messages from people who are on vacation or who are living. I have a listener in Lisbon who listens all the time. He's from Boston, but now he lives in Lisbon, and he listens all the time. So it's really gratifying.
So we'll talk once again prior to the June 5th Lorenzo's event. We'll be talking once again here.
Always
And,
looking forward to that.
yeah.
Say hi to Don. I got to connect with
Absolutely.
them. We talked about a project at my house.
Absolutely.
Get back to that, but you are the greatest. I enjoy doing your show. You're a great broadcaster, young broadcaster carrying on the great tradition in radio, and I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And we'll be talking to you in June.
Okay, Joey, take care.
Yep, bye-bye. That is Chachi LaPrette giving us a call. I am going to end the show here 2 minutes early because we got a couple of commercials here that we got to catch up on. And then you'll hear the ID, and then the next thing you hear after that is the network. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a great weekend. I'll be back on Sunday for another edition of Minabaro in Review. Don will be with me. I'm sure we'll be talking about some transportation stuff happening. The World Cup, and there's a lot of transportation talk with the World Cup to have, I'm sure, because that seems to be interesting, at least ticket prices and things like that. Not even related to transportation, but just ticket prices in general for the World Cup is interesting to say the least. At how expensive they are. I'll be back on Sunday for another edition of Minabaro Review. Until then, hope everyone has a great weekend. Bye-bye. Yeah. All right, what commercial do I need to do? Oh, 8-9.
At some health systems, cancer care can make you feel like a number. At Southcoast Health Cancer Care, you're more than a diagnosis. We offer the most advanced treatments.
Okay.
Surgical advancements, led by an admitted team of
Bye, everybody.
experts, not only for cancer, but all of you.
Yes.
Because healing isn't just medicine.